What a night that was, eh? What a bloody night that was. Ordinarily get about 4 to 5 hours sleep. I had less than 2 last night. Crazy. Thunderstorms in Manchester went on for hours around Salford. And when you have a dog that's absolutely petrified of thunder and goes to pieces, it's not easy. Let me just turn that down. I'm getting a bit of feedback there. I didn't turn down my monitor. I monitor this on my phone. So I'm cream cracker this morning, absolutely wiped out, but still glad to be chatting with you. How you doing? It's July 24th. It is Wednesday. And the thunderstorms we witnessed overnight are not going to cool things down and freshen things up. It's going to be horrible today and tomorrow. And as a result of it, today, I've got this chat with you till about 20 past 10. I've got an interview then that I'm doing after that, and then I'm disappearing till tomorrow. I'm not going to do a radio show today. It's unbearable. To be honest with you, I had a guest booked in for today and they've cried off. So I'm going to take the rest of the afternoon off today. I just am. And you'll have to lump it. It's as simple as that. Like I said on the radio show last night, there was a couple of days during the heat wave last year where I had to do that. It's just unbearable. It really is. And by the late afternoon, I'm going to be knackered. But anyway, look, I'm here now. Just realised, by the way, despite my having pneumonia in February, I was having a look last night, and because I like to tot up what I've done since 2014, the radio show began in September 2014 and will be 5 years old on September 14th this year in a couple of months' time. And I was totting up, even though I was off for 3.5 weeks with pneumonia in February, I've done over 155 live broadcasts so far this year, which is quite extraordinary when you think of the effort that goes into it, the time that goes into it, the preparation. So I'm way ahead of the game, and I'm proud of that. And I like this new live stream in the morning format where we look at the newspapers as well. I think it's got a little bit of value, even though one or two listeners don't like it. They don't see the point of looking through the papers. But of course there is. When you're on a mission to educate people as to what's really happening and who's really controlling things and how, you do need to use the mainstream media and to juxtapose what they're saying with what's exactly going on, what really is going on. Anyway, so yeah, I've been reading some of your messages this morning just before we get on. Seems like I'm not the only one who had a horrendous night last night. It was horrendous. We had every window and door open. Nobody will believe this, but in Salford, Salford is a fantastic place. It has a reputation it doesn't deserve. Back door, front door, every window, every door open, right through till this morning. And there was no movement of air. Unbelievable. Hi to Gaza, hi to Chris Brown, to Gary Mercer, to Gail, to Jennifer Garcia. How you doing, Jennifer? To Anonymous. How you doing, mate? To Gordon Upfer, who's in California's Emerald Triangle. Wow, says Gordon, you now have your own mindless twerp for a leader. Well, nothing has changed, Gordon. We generally have mindless twerps for leaders. Compromised mindless twerps, it must be said. To Michael Hunt, Jack Woolley, how you doing, Jack? To Liz, to Thread to Glumberg, Liz McFall, that is Joe Public in Edinburgh, which is cloudy. Danny Warden, 2-6, Michael Billington, Richard Murray. I might have mentioned Andrew Bell. I'm tired. Steve O'Neill, how you doing, Steve? Una Monroe says it's bikini weather in Scotland now. Freedom! I want the freedom to wear my bikini. That's all right. Somebody put a message on that has been held for review. Don't swear, children. It's not very clever. Can't stand people who swear. Mr. Sin says Boris won't last pissing time. Doesn't matter, mate. What difference does it make? Mr. Sin, long time listener to the radio show and long time contributor, and I'm very grateful for that. What difference does it make? Who's Prime Minister? This is what I've been trying to get through to people for years, and I never will get it through to people. It doesn't matter whether it's me, the future Mrs. Ireland, the Jazz. It doesn't matter. It is theatre. That's what it is, you know. And the emergence of wild-haired goons like Trump and Johnson is a specific script to get people interested and engaged again in a way they weren't before. And I've said this 1,000 times. Hi to Ellie Larkin, Jamie Williamson, how you doing, Jamie? Peace Dreamerable, Mark Perry, David Mitchell, Ian Robert Houghton, Paul Alawi. How you doing, Paul? He enjoyed hearing Michael Shrimpton last night talking about the Germans. I don't read the YouTube comments, as you know, I don't. It's moderated. Roger keeps an eye on what's being said. And, keeps an eye on how people are feeling about the guests and stuff like that. But Michael really winds people up, Michael Shrimpton. There we have Mr. Sin saying he's a fantasist. Michael is. Might be. He might very well be. I'm certainly never going to tell anybody what to think about my guests. No chance. You make your own mind up about these people. I think Shrimpton is bang on. I really do. Not about the Germans. What he's doing is he's playing a very clever game, Michael Shrimpton. What he was doing 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago now, telling the government that the Germans were going to blow up London. I have no idea what was going on there. None. I can't figure that out. I've had it out with Shrimpton. Listen to my interviews with him. 1 or 2 of them became shouting matches. I don't know what the hell is going on there. But Germans, to me, means Frankfurt Rothschilds. And the Germans running paedophile rings means ultimately not the Rothschilds necessarily, but means those who control the European Union, the architects of it, and the current gatekeepers, the current vanguards of the European Union project. So amongst all the madness of Michael and the eccentricity, the truth is in there somewhere. That's what I would say about him. But I would never tell you what to think about it. By all means, think what you want about him. I love that. That's the whole point of the programme. We've had some outlandish things said on the radio show over the years. But fair enough. Isn't the whole point of having a platform where people can come on and say what it is they want to say and to speculate about current events in the way they want to do, to be given that platform by a host who, me of course, who doesn't think his audience is stupid, would never try and pull the wool over my audience's eyes. And I say, well, look, there you are. You have a listen. What do you think? Crazy. Fair enough. Something going on there. Yeah. Did I say hi to David Yates, to Wendy Bell? Did I to Sean Inchcliffe, to Mr. B116 Nick? Hot last night, he says. My balls stuck to my thigh. Yeah. The next person who tells me I need aircon, Jack Woolley, and that goes to you, Jack Woolley, in Australia. I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to fucking kill you. Of course I need aircon. We've just moved here. Do you know what happened last night? I shouldn't share all this personal stuff. I'm very private normally. But we got this house and it's lovely. It really is lovely and it's going to be perfect for us. But it's there were some very pressing things that needed doing to it, hence the price, right? And one of the things is there's a conservatory at the back of the house, but the previous people didn't attach the conservatory to the house properly. Now, we knew this. And on Friday last, when we had torrential rain, and last night when we had torrential rain, it leaked, obviously. So I had buckets, and I had towels, and old sheets, and I was on my hands and knees at 3 o'clock in the morning this morning. That's why you're not getting a radio show today. No fucking chance. After I get done with my interview with Richard, which I'm looking forward to, I'm disappearing till tomorrow morning. I've got Matt Landman from Frankenskies coming on the radio show tomorrow evening, so I will do the radio show tomorrow evening. But not today, I'm not having it. Look at the state of me. Look at the state of me, I said. Eyes are popping out of my head. Or they're sunk into the back of my head. So yeah, so I've been on to a local roofer, and he's going to sort that out for me. A bit of lead flashing. He's going to sort it out. So it's all fun and games. So aircon, yes, but next year. Got to earn some money now. Both the future Mrs. Allen and I. And then I will aircon the studio. That's all it's like in the studio is aircon. But it's not cheap and it's not easy to do. It's not even that it's not cheap. It's not easy. It involves knocking holes in walls. It's difficult. It's, but I will do it. And next summer there won't be any issues with the programme. When I was interviewing Maggie Oliver yesterday afternoon, the wonderful Maggie Oliver, and I was glued to every word that Maggie was saying, as Maggie was winding up at 5 to 7 yesterday afternoon, I looked at the thermometer. It was 49.5 degrees in the studio. Because there are 7 computers in here running. A huge mixing desk, Allen and Heath radio station mixing desk. It's unbelievable. It's not good for the equipment. All right, it's not good for it. But anyway, I'm turning it all off today, children. At least for 24 hours anyway. Because it's going to be an effing stinker today. Do you want to look at the papers? I mean, what's the effing point anyway? You know? Eventually this is just going to become a karaoke live chat. I'm just going to start singing. Because I know I'm a wonderful singer. I know I'm a gifted singer. I have a rare gift to sing and to entertain. And I think I might be able to change the world just with my singing alone. And it doesn't matter what I sing. You know, I was going to sing The Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie this morning for you. Because I've been playing it on the old record player as I've been busying myself this morning. Do you want me? No, I won't sing Rainbow Connection, no. Let's go to the Metro. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? Right, the Metro. Look, it's all Boris Johnson this morning. Every single newspaper, or more or less every single newspaper, is even running with the same story. The same picture. You see, the same picture of Johnson looking like a reject from Dad's army. Look at him. Or a constipated Boy Scout leader. Constipated Boy Scout leader, we'll go with that one, yeah. Dib, dib, dib. Is that some sort of occult symbology Bojo's doing there, is it? Is it? Is it? You tell me, because you know everything. I'm in some form this morning. Don't mind telling you. I'm in some form this morning, I don't mind telling you now. This is going out to you now. With the tapes that you're making. That's a Traveller call-out video standard line. This is going out to you now. This is going out to you now, Mr. Sin. You, not any of the other sins now, just to you. I'll see you now in 3 weeks' time, so I will now in the car park. Right, let's have a look at the front page of The Sun. Hey, dude, don't make it bad. I'll deliver Brexit and beat Jeremy. Of course he won't. The Mail, same thing. Now bring us sunshine. Which of Morecambe and Wise is that, by the way? Is that Eric Morecambe or Ernie Wise? I have no idea. We didn't watch Morecambe and Wise when I was growing up in my home because we hated the English. No, we didn't. We just didn't watch that. What's on the front page of the Express? Hang on to your hats. Here comes Boris. Boris is going to appoint a cabinet today showcasing all the talents. Yeah. Priti Patel, who ironically, until about 2012, Priti Patel, the former International Development Secretary, until about 2012, Priti Patel wanted to bring back the death penalty in the UK. Priti was disgraced. She's not very pretty, by the way. Well, she's not half bad, to be honest. She was disgraced when it was revealed that when she was on her summer holidays, she went to Israel to meet with Netanyahu's people and didn't tell her own government. So ironically, bringing back capital punishment, she wanted to at one time. If it was for treason, she'd be swinging from her neck underneath London Bridge, right? Conspiring with a foreign government behind the back of your own Prime Minister, Priti Patel. Anyone? Oh, yeah. Anyway. This will get banned now for me saying that. The Mirror! Hey! A montage of Johnson's more embarrassing photographs. Although Johnson, to his credit, whatever you think of him, and he is dreadful. As a human being, he's dreadful. Do you know him? Of course I don't. I judge him by that which we know about him, which is irrefutable. He's a disgusting human being. And there he is on the front page of the Mirror in some of his less flattering poses over the years. Look at him on that crane with the fucking flags. Look, what a fucking idiot. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? Tell you what's making me laugh this morning is that we're going to have a load of ethnic minorities in the cabinet. Sources close to Boris Johnson are saying that his cabinet will have a modern Britain look about it, with Boris expected to increase the number of women in key roles and also basically put in a whole pile of ethnic minorities as well. You see, I told you it doesn't matter. Politics doesn't matter. These people are not really running things. So it's hilarious. Going to put a load of women in and a load of ethnic minorities to reflect modern, diverse Britain. It's going to be brilliant. People of Indian and Pakistani heritage will be given cabinet and ministerial roles. Whether they're any good or not doesn't matter. As long as we tick a few boxes. I told you where this all leads and you thought I was making a joke and you laughed and you said, oh, you're funny, Richie. It's not funny. In a few years' time, when you are appointing a board or a committee, you'll have to have blind lesbian dwarfs in wheelchairs in there. You'll have to have blind lesbian dwarves in wheelchairs in there because God knows they're not represented. You see? If you are a blind lesbian dwarf who uses a wheelchair to get around, I'm not in the least bit concerned that you might be offended. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Or get somebody else to do it for you because you can't. Right, what else have we got going on? Ethnic minorities, eh? Like I said, it doesn't matter. Matters not. What's in the Telegraph? Where can I get a swim today, eh? The Jazz is absolutely fucked, aren't you, Jazz? Huh? Just fucked. She's been sulking because I've not been bringing her on my jog. I jogged this morning. I didn't run. I normally run. I jogged. I couldn't. I nearly died on top of Buell Hill this morning. I couldn't catch my breath. And I wore an Old Man United jersey. And normally you sweat anyway. When I run my 5.5, 6 kilometres, I normally lose about 3.5 pounds basically in water. Evaporated, sweated. This morning it was more. You could rinse you could wring out the jersey. Even this morning, Jazz didn't even sulk. She just went, right, off on your bike. I'll see you after. Yeah. Get a swim somewhere today. I grew up near the sea, of course, in Waterford City. Every day of every summer holiday, I spent it in Woodstown, in Tremor, in Dunmore East. I lived in Spain for 9 years on the beach. I spent every day of my life in Spain in the water. Now we're back in Blighty, nowhere near the sea. It's not good. Did we do the Telegraph, did we? I'm the dude! I'm the dude. Fucking idiot. But he's better than... Because he's no different to Jeremy Corbyn. In terms of he's just as compromised as Corbyn is. And will never do anything other than serve the elite. The banking cartels. Because we have to put up with some government, I'd prefer him, to be honest. At least you get a few giggles with him. You know, for somebody who writes a monologue, who opens his programmes with a news roundup and a monologue, he's gold. He's manna from heaven to me, to be honest. Whereas Corbyn could depress the happiest man that ever lived. Corbyn would bring him down just by talking to him for 2 minutes, wouldn't he? With motion of no confidence. Cheer up, pal. Might never die. Johnson goes to work, says the Times. The eye paper, power at last. No power whatsoever. The illusion of power. An ambition is fulfilled, but what next for Britain? More the same. Nothing different. Nothing different. Nothing new. Financial Times, Johnson wins race for number 10 as the International Monetary Fund warns over no deal Brexit. Well, they fucking would do, wouldn't they? What's in the Star? Gotta love the Star. The editor of the Star last night went, you know what? Every effing newspaper in this country is going to have a picture of Boris Johnson on the front cover. We won't. We'll ignore it. We'll pretend it didn't happen. And we'll run a story about Coronation Street, which is the world's longest running serial drama, children. And this is about a writer, a guy who writes for Corrie, a script writer, and he's been tweeting about how he likes to write storylines that kill off characters. And of course the actors and actresses are pissed off. And that's it. The Star. Brilliant. Oh, my Jesus. What else have we got going on? Marvellous. Marvellous. Hello to Mad About the Guy. How you doing? Hello. Norfolk says get Jazz a paddling pool, Richie. We've flirted with the idea of a paddling pool. She swims in the rivers. We can always head for the Mersey. Head for the Chorlton Water Park and chuck her in the Mersey. She loves a bit of that. Loves a bit of Mersey. Loves a bit of Mersey. Venus Rising says we need more transgenders in the cabinet. Well, if there was a transgender serving as a Conservative MP, I have no doubt he or she would be given a frontline position this morning. Yeah. Hi to Letra Blaze, Stuart Batty, Monty Mole, Scottish Restorian. Mr. Dry Reach says Boris eats arse. How do you know? Did he eat your arse? Did you eat his? Give over. Tell you what, you know, these boarding schools that these guys go to. This is why these guys like Johnson have a nasty and a cruel streak running down their backs. Because of what they are subjected to at private schools and boarding schools. Honest to God. Humiliation, sexual humiliation, abuse. I've no doubt about it. I've interviewed, of course, a famous writer who went to one of these schools and who was abused himself. Of course. Johnson is sick, burning £50 notes in front of homeless people. Who does that? Mwinga says that pretty is easy on the eyes. Did you say that, or are you just laughing at me saying it? I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. What's going on? Yeah. Michelle Maher says it looks like Bibi's got a new bitch in Bojo. Do you know what, Michelle? Bibi has a bitch in Jeremy Corbyn as well. Let's be honest about it. I know people don't like hearing that, but I don't care. I don't care. Paul loves Rainbow Connection. Don't get me started, Paul. I'm going to start singing it again. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? We love it, don't we? Hi to William in Scotland. Right. Ivanka Trump is a bit of a fucking idiot, isn't she? She congratulated Boris yesterday on becoming the Prime Minister of United Kingston. Do you remember when Kingston used to be divided? Do you remember? All those years ago. When Kingston was divided, blacks against whites. Well, we have a United Kingston now, and Boris is going to clean it up. Johnson couldn't even take Kingston out of the European Union. Let's be honest about it, right? Sick as a plank. Congratulations on becoming the next Prime Minister of the United Kingston. Marvellous. I'm not going to sing Kingston Town by UB40. I'm not. I'm sorely tempted to. I'm delirious this morning with tiredness. I'm sorely tempted to start singing it, but I won't sing it. Because I can't remember how it goes. That's the sad reality. UB40. Seagulls are some bastards, huh? Look at this one. It carried our dog away. Are the UK seagulls getting more aggressive? Well, after you've exhausted everything you can blame migrants for, now you can start blaming stuff on seagulls. Why not? This is, of course, about the Chihuahua that was airlifted by a seagull. If you have a dog that fits in a fucking handbag, you deserve what you get. Come on. Come on, give over. Fucking seagulls. I of course got a couple of abusive emails from people. You always do, don't you? Nobody has a sense of humour anymore. Giving me grief because of what I said about chihuahuas. Somebody said I was an animal hater. Honest to God, an animal hater. Me. This is me. Animal hater. Look at that. Dr. Effin Doolittle there, right? There's me with the puss and Lizzie, the Persian, and there's Jazz. And that's a Bacardi and Coke on the table. Back in the day. So there's a picture of me. Don't be saying I don't like animals. I love animals. I just don't have a particular liking for small dogs that fit in handbags that people use as accessories. The Daily Mail is desperate. They will not leave Tom Watson go. Tom Watson is the Deputy Prime Minister, and he was a big supporter of Carl Beach, or Nick, who made these claims about politicians, including Edward Heath. I think a lot of... I've had to unhide Charlotte Binns. I've had to unhide that, Charlotte. That's bad language. Don't be using bad language. Don't be using bad language on my chat. I think a lot of what Carl Beach has said is true. I think a lot of what Carl Beach said is patently nonsense and ridiculous, and I think that's the whole point. Put up job, Michael Shrimpton said about him. But Tom Watson is coming under fire because Watson has been telling Porky Pies about the nature of his relationship with Carl Beach and about how many times he spoke with Carl Beach and whether or not Watson knew the names of the men that Beach was accusing, the names of the living men. Watson's been caught out telling a few Porky Pies about this. And the Mail and the Telegraph, because they are allegedly right-wing newspapers, they really want to get rid of Tom Watson. Jeremy Corbyn is probably loving this. Marvellous. Because Watson has tried to appoint himself... He did appoint himself as the nonce finder general after Savile. Watson is a career politician who's only interested in himself. He couldn't give a rat's arse about the victims of child abuse, sexual abuse, satanic abuse. He couldn't care less. He's a virtue signaller who's only interested... He's only out for Tom Watson. He's only out for himself. So he was the nonce finder general. Now he's the anti-Semite finder general in the Labour Party. He's a tosser, Watson. And his enemies in the Labour Party are probably delighted that he's under a lot of scrutiny now about what he did and what he didn't know about Carl Beach. Will it do for Watson? I don't know, and I don't care. The Loch Ness Monster! Inspired by the... Oh, Jesus. I'm tired. It's gone out of my head. Area 51, yeah. Inspired by the crowdfunding, not crowdfunding, but the Facebook-driven plan to get people to storm Area 51. Others have said, that's a great idea. Let's storm Loch Ness and let's find the Loch Ness Monster once and for all. Brilliant. Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster, children? Nessie? Do you believe that this very deep loch, it's very deep, isn't it, Loch Ness? Do you believe that lurking at the bottom of it might be some prehistoric beast that pops up from time to time just in time for people to see it before it disappears back into the deep? Do you believe in all that stuff? I know a lot of my listeners do. But yeah, people are saying, right, let's storm Loch Ness. You don't have to storm Loch Ness. Just go there. Right. And have a look for Nessie. We're not taking heatwave seriously enough, to our own detriment, to the detriment of our own health. So there are two articles in the Telegraph contradicting one another, which is kind of funny. One says, let's give heat waves names. Let's give names to heat waves so that people will take them more seriously. Yeah. I would go out today, but I haven't got a stitch to wear. I would go out today without any sunscreen. But if you gave it a name, if you called it Heatwave Hillary or Heatwave John or whatever the F, I'd probably put sunscreen on. That's in the Telegraph. But there's another article in the Telegraph which is, I think, more appropriate. The worst thing about hot weather being told the bleeding obvious. Yes, we're not stupid. We don't need to be mollycoddled. We don't need to be babysat. We know what to do when it's warm. Drink loads of water. Drink loads of water. And try and keep the heat out. And look after your animals. Particularly look after your animals. Very important. Because they can't tell you, hey dickhead, my water bowl is empty. You wouldn't mind filling it, would you? Your dog can't do that. So keep an eye on your dog and cat's water bowls. Please do that. Honest to God, I'm serious about that. We don't need to be told what to do in the weather. Maybe where it comes to dogs, maybe we do. What else have I got for you? This is in RT. US lawmakers have overwhelmingly approved a non-binding resolution to condemn the boycott, divestment and sanctions movement as harmful. It's non-binding. Non-binding yet, thus far, right? But it's going to be law. Because we know who's running Washington DC, don't we? We know. Don't have to say it. The boycott, divestment and sanctions movement is very important. Because it is one way that people can stick their fingers up to the brutal apartheid, fascist, racist, Nazi regime that is Israel. And that is not to buy their products. Not to buy anything made in Israel. Forget about not buying stuff manufactured in the occupied territories. The whole fucking place is occupied. Don't buy anything made by Israel. Don't tell me what to do. Fair enough, I won't tell you what to do. I don't. I check. Particularly when you're buying things like hummus, be very careful. Don't buy anything. That Nazi regime, that's what it is. And passing resolutions condemning boycotting Israel. Imagine that. How effing dare they, these people? Who are these people? I know about 30 states have already passed laws preventing the states doing business with any companies that have supported BDS. State legislatures, have said, well, right, we are the state of Louisiana. We can't do business with these companies anymore because those companies support boycotting Israel. It is a tyranny. It's very serious. Very serious. Jo Swinson is the new leader of the Lib Dems. She said yesterday, if in a new referendum people vote to leave again, I won't accept it. And I'll still carry on campaigning for Remain. Wow. This is the new way. This is the way to be. This is it. I'll get what I want. When I want. This is the streak that's running through, sadly, mostly younger people today. That's right. If we have another referendum and we vote to leave again, I won't accept it. Wow. Crazy. What about I'm going to finish with a couple of tweets that I came across yesterday. And then I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'm going to go and do an interview. And then I'm going to chase up my roofer who's going to come and sort out my roof. Then I'm going to lie down. I'm going to watch some cricket. Because Ireland are in Lords today to begin a 4-day test match against England. It's a warm-up for the Ashes for England. Lovely. Hi Safi Kemal, how you doing? Hi Bloomin' Artie. Hi to Jinx Jackson. How you doing, Jinx? Can't believe so many of you bothered to watch this garbage. Hi to Anne Gladman, how you doing? Anne says that she believes in Nessie. Nessie. Jesus says we've been run by 33 degrees and we call them Freemasons. Dominic Barnes. It's hot. Hope you're keeping cool along with the Jazz. Great name for a dag. It's a great name, Jazz. Can't remember if Caroline came up with it or if I came up with it. Mwinga says no speaking about ass eating during breakfast hours or breaking hours. Yeah. Hi to Can Cree. Hi to Wilco. How you doing, Wilco? Oh, God. Martin Foot. I'd like to say hello to everybody. Chris Morella, how you doing, Chris? Ethic Boxing is there. There were some super chat donations earlier on, but I can't scroll back. Thanks so much, whoever put those on there. I really appreciate that. You have no idea how much that means to me. I can't find the words. Hi to Bernadette Black in Dublin. How you doing, Bernadette? Watching what it? Boris is in. The UK's answer to Trump, says Bernadette. Think this will lead to the UK going to war in support of the USA and Israel. And goodbye to the NHS, says Bernadette. Thanks for the comment, Bernadette. Graham Farmer says, get a fan, Richie. Aircon is not healthy. Danny says you can't get away from buying stuff from Israel. Most smartphones have Israeli-made components. Even this Samsung smartphone, Richie, probably, yeah. I'll give you that, Danny. I boycott their fruit, he says. Hi to Samantha Jordan. You still get idiots with their dogs in cars, says Sam. You do. You do, don't you? You do get proper dipsticks who will pull up to a footpath, get out of their car, run into the pharmacy to pick something up, and then open their big fat fucking gob and start a conversation for 25 minutes. While the dog is cooking in the car. Kidneys. Lungs beginning to cook. That goes for children as well. Don't fucking leave anything in a car. We just don't even bring Jazz in the car in this weather. Because if you go out to the car now, it's like a furnace. Why would you put her in there? Yeah. Hi to Fred Luce. How you doing, Fred? I haven't read that, Fred. Thank you. But I'll check it out. Hi to Kazi in Glasgow. Right. The PayPal account is under richieallen@hotmail.co.uk. That's RICHIE allen@hotmail.co.uk. That's where the PayPal account is. Now, I'm going to finish with a tweet. Found this very interesting. In fact, it was one of my listeners alerted me to it. Oh, I'm bloody stiff. Oh. Enough of your double entendres there, Richard. All right. Oh, tweets, eh? Well, Tim Montgomery is a guy that came on my radio show in Spain a couple of times. He's a writer. And his politics are on the right. He's a conservative writer. And he had a pop at Sky News yesterday, which is very interesting because Montgomery's a very well-known journalist. He's written for The Times and The Telegraph. And... Christ, it's hot already. And Montgomery was having a pop at Sky News because he felt that Sky News was taking an anti-Boris Johnson editorial point of view. Editorially, yesterday, they were taking an anti-Boris point of view. That's what Tim Montgomery thought. And Tim Montgomery saw a tweet that was posted by Lewis Goodall, who's a correspondent for Sky News. Now, Lewis Goodall made a joke about working yesterday close to or near the set of Black Mirror. Right? Black Mirror, fantastic. Fantastic. Why does the guy's name keep escaping me? Tell me on the super chat. What's the guy's name who wrote Black Mirror? It's Charlie something or other, is it? What is it? It'll come to me in a minute. This is tiredness. What's the name of the guy? Tell me. Anyway, Black Mirror is excellent. It takes a look at technology. And it has these episodes that are usually an hour long, and it looks at a very bleak, a very dystopian future where technology is playing a big part and a very negative part on our lives. What's the guy's effing name? Anyway. So Charlie Brooker, thanks Chris Morell. Charlie Brooker, well done, pal. So thanks, Chris. So Lewis Goodall, I will get around to telling this story. I'm the worst fucking Sean Key of all time. Sean Key's a Irish storyteller, by the way. Back in the day, pre-television, pre-radio, we had storytellers in my great country, and they were geniuses at telling stories. Sean Key, we called them. Amazing. I met one many years ago, a very old man. He was an amazing storyteller. Anyway. Yeah. So Lewis Goodall, Sky reporter, happened to tweet that he was working yesterday on or near the set of Black Mirror. This pissed off Tim Montgomery because he already had a bee in his bonnet about Sky News behaviour. So you can see Lewis Goodall's tweet, so great to share a set with Black Mirror. Tim Montgomery tweeted, for those who don't know, Black Mirror is a show on Netflix that portrays twisted views of the future. Throughout Sky News, we have pundits posing as reporters. Neither Sky executives or Ofcom seems to give a damn. Ooh! Ooh! Well, yes, but that isn't news. Some of us have been saying that for years. We don't have news readers. We don't have journalists. We have commentators pretending to be journalists. Pretending, masquerading, when what they are really doing on their programmes, whether it is Dermot Murnaghan on Sky, whether it is Kay, the Ginger Ninja Burley herself on Sky, whether it is Adam Bolton, they are masquerading as if they are presenting you with some facts. And they are masquerading as if they are trying to get to the bottom of what is true and what isn't true. But in reality, what they are doing is they are presenting a very specific point of view. That is a fact. And we've known this for years. I've written many articles on this going back years. I've lectured on this. I will be doing a one-man show on this either late this year or next year. I am going to, this is a bombshell I'm dropping on you now. I've got a 3-hour presentation ready to go about the evolution of the media in the UK and in Ireland. This is my area of expertise. He's right. But Ofcom doesn't give a shite that you've got Sky News and the BBC giving you their specific point of view and not actually doing journalism. So that triggered Kay Burley. Okay. The Ginger Ninja probably should have kept her powder dry, but she jumped in with 2 feet. You're an absolute disgrace to our profession. Seriously, says Kay. Because Kay was triggered when Montgomery said, you're basically pundits posing as reporters. She properly triggered there, Kay. Properly triggered. So she went for him. But if you scroll down his tweet, Burley had fired a tweet at Boris Johnson, telling Johnson he should thank his opponent Jeremy Hunt. It's just good manners, mate, said Burley to Johnson. Now, I don't give a shit about Johnson. I told you who he is and what he represents. It's dreadful. But pretending it's all real, if you buy into the illusion, it's an outlandish tweet for Burley to send to Boris Johnson. Montgomery points out, well, he did. He did thank him profusely. Profusely thanked him. In fact, he was very warm in his praise for him and said sharing a 7,000-mile journey around the country with him, he found him to be great company and full of great ideas. Montgomery says this is Boris scepticism coming out from Sky News. Although they still bill themselves as Sly News, I mean Sky News. So what prompted Montgomery, I have no idea. Maybe he's a friend of Boris Johnson's. But it's all bullshit. You know? There are no news outlets. There is no journalism. None whatsoever. I demonstrate this at least 3 or 4 times a week in my monologues. But ultimately it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter a damn whether it's Johnson, whether it's Corbyn, whether it's Swinson and Corbyn, or Swinson and Johnson, or Blackford, or Sturgeon with Johnson or with Corbyn. It doesn't matter. They all serve the central banking cartels, the European Central Bank, the IMF, the monetary elite. That's who they serve. All of them. Your vote is worthless. Doesn't matter a damn. And that's ultimately where we're going to leave this today. So there you go. Listen, thanks for putting up with this. I don't know why you come here every morning at 9:30. I'm going to go and do a chat that I'm looking forward to. Richard Willett wants to chat with me, the documentary filmmaker. He's got a few questions for me. He's going to expose me for the gammon that I am. And I'm looking forward to chatting with Richard. And I did have a guest booked in today. I think it might have been Alana. And it's not going to be possible. So I'm going to forego the show because it's going to be unbearable this afternoon. It is, children. It is. There's nothing I can do about it. And I deserve it. I've already done nearly 160 live programmes this year already. And we're not even at the end of July. So you're going to let me have it. I'm going to go away for the afternoon. And I will be back with you tomorrow. And Matt Landman will be among the... I know it's going to be worse tomorrow. But I'm going to figure it out tomorrow. I'm going to put some sort of, I don't know, I'm going to put Mr. Freeze ice pops all over my body tomorrow before coming into the studio. Mr. Freeze. Those numbers on Mr. Freeze ice pops never meant anything, did they? Those little numbers, 7 or 6 or 5, they never meant anything. And I used to save all the packages just in case that, you know, they meant something. But anyway, look, I'm out of here. Keep your dogs' bowls full of water and your cats. And if you've got a dog that fits into a fucking handbag, keep it out of the reach of seagulls. And if you follow that advice, you'll be a man, my son. I'm going to love you and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Look after yourselves and one another. Bye from me. Bye now.